Yes, sir. My Tricka. Back up in this thing, man. Today, I'll be reacting to some mysterious TikToks that'll send you on a wild ride. Let's get it.
Can anybody out there tell me what is going on with this ladybug? I turned around, saw it on the door, and noticed this purple line. And anywhere that the ladybug walks, it draws a purple line. It is so interesting. It's coming out of its head. It's a little artist. But there's got to be some explanation. Help.
The only explanation I have is that this ladybug found a microscopic purple Crayola.
Are there still people out there looking at this weather thinking that everything is normal? By the way, it's flooding more and not in Spain this time. Look how big the hail is that came down in Cyprus. Y'all, this is not freaking normal. I can't even with the people who say this stuff is normal. And like I said before, this is not in Spain this time. I'm about to show you what Spain looks like now. This is in Israel. It's kind of weird how all this weather is breaking out the way it is. And at the same exact time of all the flooding and all the hail, it's snowing in Saudi Arabia. At the same time. And people are just like, oh, it's normal. And Spain is absolutely destroyed. This is so sad. And remember, they just saw that devil's comet in the sky the night before while it was going on. Again, randomly. And bonus, this weird band popped up in 2022 November 5th, right? We are now starting to see the exact same thing, wild to say the least.
It seems like there's a new extreme weather event almost every single day now, and I don't know if it's a product of weather modification, but I know when I see a cloud seeding plane, a nervous bead of sweat starts dripping down my forehead. I remember the seahorse emoji being in the same section as the mermaid and fish emoji. If you have an iPhone, you could probably confirm the same thing. If we keep letting CERN change our timelines like this, one day we're going to wake up and Panda Express is going to be selling tacos instead of Asian cuisine.
Can I get a symbol check, you guys? Because I love this place, but this symbol right here, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. I just want to know what's going on over here. What's this? Hold on. My phone's... What's the arrows? Another triangle? What's the... Oh! You guys. It's everywhere. Let me show you. You guys, look at this. What is that on the water slide? Can you see that? It's all the same symbols. I don't know. I rebuke it though.
I used to love going to Great Wolf Lodge, but I had no idea they had a Ghislaine Maxwell suite.
I'll just tell you one other interesting fact. You mentioned MK Ultra. Yeah. One of the hospitals that apparently was used MK Ultra was, I think it was a naval base. There was naval infirmary in Pasadena. One day they said to Sirhan, we want you to get on the horse. He'd never been on any horse, and they were going to put him on a thoroughbred and have him race around a quarter-mile track. Obviously, he falls off. He hits his head on the rail. He's brought to the Pasadena hospital.
What the
and his memory is that he stayed in that hospital for 3 months. But when his appeals attorney went to the hospital and got his records, it said he got 4 stitches and was discharged in an hour.
Wow.
And he has very vivid memories of what took place in this hospital. He said there were other people from the track who were also there that had bandages on their heads. Oh, again, this is stuff he says,
right.
And, I'm not assigning any credibility to it. I'm just, it's part of this, it's part of this, you know, a lot of the questions that I would like to ask people that were never asked of people.
Guess who won't be riding a thoroughbred anytime soon?
Gaga just released a new music video, and this is dark. It's actually about her confronting her inner demons and how accepting these internal struggles is essential to her identity. So when the music video starts, we see a lot of versions of her in this music video. So first we see her on top of a car, and she is clearly struggling, trying to reach the person inside of the car that she's on. Inside, we see that it's her dark side, or her demons. She is then pulled off of it by another version of her. She chases after her, and then she's trapped inside of this room. I don't really know what this part means, but after this scene is when it starts to get weird. This is when she confronts the demon in person. So there's this dramatic windstorm where she starts dancing in, and she throws up this black goo. Now, before we continue, I noticed this same scene in one of Justin Timberlake's music video. This demon throws up the same looking goo onto him, and in this one, the demon throws it up. She's laying down in it, and then she looks up to the demon, embraces it, and then realizes it's actually her, and then she freaks out and runs away. Well, a lot is going on in this music video. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it.
If this music video would have showed Lady Gaga confronting all of her inner demons, it would have been minimum 3 hours long. This is just scratching the surface.
This guy in North Carolina, he was leasing this giant warehouse, and FEMA had no place to put all their stuff. He's like, you can use part of my warehouse.
Voluntarily opened up to them.
Yeah,
rad guy.
And so what they also put in there was pallets worth of prime drink, and apparently there's some ingredient that is not approved through FEMA. And then they went to the guy and said, since you had this in your warehouse, you no longer have a lease. We are apprehending your warehouse. And so he's kicked out of his own place for offering it. They put the prime in there. And they said, can't have that in there.
They did that on purpose.
That same day, I would have put FEMA's name down on all the utility bills, sent them a Venmo request for the rent, and took a case of prime for the road. Today's video is sponsored by Scentbird. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that delivers a new designer fragrance to your doorstep every month for less than $1 a day. They carry fragrances from popular brands like Prada, Gucci, and Versace, as well as indie luxury labels like DS and Durga. Some of these can be as expensive as $300 per bottle, so having the ability to try before you buy ensures that you won't waste money on a fragrance you don't truly love. This is why Scentbird is ideal for finding your perfect scent. Every month, you'll choose what you want from over 700 designer fragrances, and Scentbird will send you vials that last the entire month. You'll find that smelling your best has never been this easy. This month, I went with Vetiver and Oak by Scents of Wood, which has notes of cypress, amber, vetiver, pink pepper, and coriander. It smells earthy and sophisticated, perfect for an exciting night out. Next, I went with Oddity by Rag & Bone, which has notes of licorice, amber, angelica, and sage. This one I've been keeping in my car to ensure that I smell great even when I'm on the go. And lastly, I chose I Don't Know What by DS and Durga, which has notes of bergamot, vetiver, and sandalwood. It packs a powerful aromatic punch while at the same time having soothing qualities. These scents all smell incredible, but my favorite this month has to be Vetiver and Oak by Scents of Wood. One spray of this and my aura is instantly elevated. I also really love the sleek looking atomizer cases that make it easy to swap out your different scents, plus the vials have a perfect mist. Head over to Scentbird today and find your new favorite fragrance. While you're there, don't forget to use code MAATRICA to get 55% off at Scentbird. It's just a little over $8 for your first month, and it's available in the USA and Canada. Thank you, Scentbird, for sponsoring this video, and be sure to check out the links below. That being said, guys, let's get back to the video.
Now, I'm not somebody who's interested in what celebrities are up to, but this caught my attention because many people were accusing Lindsay Lohan of being a vampire because she looks so much younger in 2024 than she did last year. I don't think she dabbled in any vampirism by drinking any A juice, if you know what I mean, but I do think her life took a turn for the worst once she started spending time with P. Diddy. But what if this sudden appearance of her being young again means that she is like these other celebrities who I believe are not vampires or time travelers, but have figured out a different form of immortality and have been living the same life over and over again and disappearing and becoming other people once their time runs out and people start catching on to them. But they let out little hints to the public every once in a while to let them know what is really going on. Perhaps this has been happening way back to Egyptian times as well.
She either made some changes to her skincare routine or got a hold of the potion from Death Becomes Her, because she looks like she's aging in reverse.
Just know that if the news channel you're watching has been showing the weather images in red lately, instead of the normal green like the picture you are seeing now on your screen, then know that you're not watching an unbiased news program You're watching a deceptive, government-owned propaganda news channel designed to program and manipulate you into thinking and feeling like they want you to about every topic they share. Friends, change news source because you're being programmed and brainwashed. You're welcome.
It feels like the mainstream media is using this color scheme as a fear-mongering tactic to drill in our heads that the earth is heating up. The fact they don't know this is an inchworm blows my mind.
125 years ago, they noticed something. People bought Coca-Cola in the summer, not in the winter. People didn't think of it as a winter drink. So the Coca-Cola advertisers were like, what if we somehow worked Coca-Cola into Christmas? So what the Coca-Cola advertisers did was they found a saint, Santa Claus. They grabbed him, they merged him with the story of Saint Nick, and then somebody got inspired. And the inspiration was to merge him with Kris Kringle. Kris Kringle was a Danish thief whose job in the day was a chimney sweep. And they merged this together. They stuck them in Coca-Cola colors, red and white, and then they stuck them on the bottle. That's why periodically you'll see Santa Claus or Coca-Cola can. And they transformed Christmas, where all of a sudden this mythical being who drinks a lot of Coca-Cola is bringing you presents. And in the process now, the average Christian in the United States at least thinks Christmas is the important Christian holiday because of Coca-Cola advertisers trying to get you to drink more Coca-Cola.
Leave it to the Coca-Cola Corporation to turn a religious holiday into a marketing campaign.
Anybody know why my onions are turning blue?
Maybe this is a type of onion that turns blue when you cook it, but I wouldn't dare eat this. It'll have your breath smelling like Papa Smurf. If this video is real, whatever entity this is will be the #1 NFL draft pick with this 1.9 second 40 time.
Having seen that person commit the crime, even though that person's utterly innocent, that it becomes a planted memory. And so there's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. And in a different context, one of the emerging areas that's really interesting in law neuroscience is pain detection. And once we understand the circuitries that cause pain, I guess the question is, could we then instill pain and use that in many coercive measures in the legal system as well? So,
wow, that's amazing.
I'm confused how they even landed on the topic of torture techniques at the World Economic Forum. This sounds like a Guantanamo Bay convention.
What is going on here? This is the sky. Look at this. What the? Is no one else questioning there?
Now, everybody's questioning it. We just haven't gotten any answers.
It'd be crazy if FEMA was building, well, allegedly FEMA, we're not sure who's building these things, but let me just show you. You can see these pictures above my head. Tornado shelters. These are located in North Carolina. They were sent to me by a resident. Apparently they are blocked off now. You cannot see these anymore because of a protective fence. Yeah. I'm wondering, what is this? Is this something that you guys have seen cropping up? I'm talking to everyone in America. Have you guys seen similar shelters like this? It's the first time I've seen them. It looks like a whole little compound in there. Maybe it's just preventative, preemptive, certainly possible. I don't know. This is a weird one. You can see the location here and even a video that was sent to me showing, the site before they fenced it off. Let me know what you guys think of this. Is this sus or is this, just them doing their jobs? I'm seriously asking. But I'll tell you this. I can tell you this. The local who sent it to me certainly thought it was a little bit sus, especially because apparently there may be some Ukrainian connection, but I've been unable to establish that.
Whatever they're planning for, I would not stick around to find out. I would be on my way to Canada.
They accidentally gave me the hospital bill of everything that they used on me. If I had like a ginger ale, it was a little 6 ounce, those little ones. I had like 20 of them while I was there. They were charging $12 for each one of those. They had on the bill like the linen, what the linen costs and this and that. Linen was a few $100s, just the bed sheets. The bill ended up being for 5 days, it was $165,000. How could you spend $165,000 just laying in a hospital bed? It's ridiculous.
This is a classic example. If you have to go in the hospital for anything, just take charge and just tell them, look, no, I don't want this, I don't want that. Because you better believe it, they are charging you for everything. And when it comes to your bill, they can put it in separate categories. So one could be room and board, or one could be miscellaneous. They put them all in different categories. So before you know it, you're getting dinged here, there, and then you go to your insurance company and they're like, well, wait a second, this fell off under a different category. If I went on a 5-day holiday, how hard would it be to spend $165,000? Just think about that.
I wish I saw this video before we went to the hospital to have the baby. I was running through those ginger ales.
Bro, look at that! Oh my god! Look at that! Look at that! A living dude. And it's just like oh my god. That's disgusting. And this is how many other ones we've just found. We've found says nowhere on it does it say it could possibly like contain bugs. Like that's insane. So, and the expiration date May 10th, 2025. Bro. That's crazy.
I love trail mix, but I'll pass on the bonus protein.
They'll say the Rothschilds control the New World Order, they control the One World Government. They don't. Really, there are also other Balkan bloodlines. You have the Medici, you have the Breakspear, Orsini, Farnese. These are from Rome. These are Italian papal bloodlines. They're part of what's called the black nobility.
The black nobility. So this idea of these supreme dynasties that go beyond even what we know as in Europe. We still have royal families. So black nobility would be people like the Orsinis and people like that who are above even what we would consider to be royal families in Europe.
It's what runs the world, not the governments. The governments are run by these powerful families and their oligarchical connections, who control the Washington Post. They control the New York Times. They control the 3 TV networks.
You see, the Rothschilds became part of black nobility when David D. Rothschild married Princess Olympia Aldo Brandini. In fact, James Mayer de Rothschild made loans to the Vatican, and these loans were overseen by the Torlonia family, an Italian noble family from Rome who acquired a huge fortune in the 18th and 19th centuries through administering the finances of the Vatican. You see, historically the Romans felt that the Jews were good with finances. Karl Rothschild received the ribbon and star from the Sacred Military Constantinian Order of St. George.
They're just Vatican Knights of Rome.
It was customary for Catholics to kiss the Pope's feet.
If this is true and the Rothschilds and the Torlonia family at one point in time issued loans to the Vatican, and they probably had a big say in how the Vatican operated and possibly still do.
Even perhaps more important, and perhaps this colors my thinking, but I am uniquely familiar with disinformation programs put forth by the CIA, or the agency as it's called by insiders, right? And I've learned firsthand about these programs, or rather learned from firsthand participants in strategic deception campaigns that the CIA has engaged in, beginning with Area 51. You know, the idea that all these reports of this U-2 spy plane, this giant long-winged aircraft flying 70,000 feet up. People didn't think airplanes could fly that high. And it's, you know, the sun shining off of it. It looked like a UFO, and all the reports coming in. And the CIA opened up a a UFO disinformation campaign office headed by a guy named Toto Odorenko, specifically for this reason. Now, does that mean that every UFO sighting in the world has been a U2? No. But I come from that lane of thinking. And there are so many strategic deception campaigns, and as I look over the decades of how these same UFO stories, and again, this is just my opinion based on my reporting, this narrative that keeps reoccurring, it seems to me like a very large catch-all to keep the public's attention on that, not on that.
So maybe this is why the Pentagon is all of a sudden starting to disclose UFOs. It's not to make us aware that there's extraterrestrials. If that was the case, they would have told us this back in the 40s.
Why are there paintings of dinosaurs on cave walls?
Because they saw the bones?
They saw bones of dinosaurs, you think? And they were able to draw what the actual body looked like?
Oh.
So there's the conspiracy. It goes a couple different ways, right?
Oh, Chris is Googling.
Either dinosaurs never existed, because every dinosaur name was invented by two guys in like a New York apartment in I believe it was the 1850s. So it's a very weird timeline of how they were found out about and all this stuff.
Okay.
The other theory is dinosaurs didn't go extinct 65 million years ago, and it was actually much more recent. And that's why it's interesting that in Acámbaro, Mexico, they have little figurines of dinosaurs from around 2,000 years ago, because how would people only 2,000 years ago know about things that were supposedly extinct 65 million years ago?
I feel like when Darwin's theory of evolution came about, a lot of our history had to be changed to fit that narrative, i.e. when dinosaurs actually went extinct.
There is a mysterious phenomena happening on the border of Missouri and Oklahoma. This is the Joplin Spooklight, also known as the Hornet Spooklight. Paranormal phenomena found along a road called the Devil's Promenade near the infamous Route 66. Now, I've seen one of these things before in New England, but here's what's going on with the Joplin Spooklight. This light, first described in publications more than 100 years ago, is said to be this basketball-sized orange orb of light. Witnesses have seen this thing at night, usually between 10 p.m. and midnight, bouncing and dancing around the middle of the road, sometimes zipping along at high speeds. Some have described it swaying back and forth, like it's someone carrying a lantern. Others have watched it float up into the treetops, only to blink out moments later. And according to the story, the Cherokee may have been the first people to see the spooklight while traveling along the Trail of Tears. Now, nobody knows what this thing is, but there are some theories. There's the usual swamp gas theory, and also the theory that it's some kind of electrical discharge from the New Madrid fault line which runs through the area. One story talks about a Native American couple who eloped. The bride's father didn't approve of the marriage, and after being pursued, the couple jumped to their from a cliff. And afterwards, the spooklight started to appear in the area. Other legends suggest that the light is the apparition of an unalived Osage chief looking for his missing head, or a miner searching for his missing family.
I've never seen a spooklight before, but it kind of sounds like he's describing an orb. Hopefully somebody can catch it on camera one day.
But my favorite object is this one. I was working with a dealer in New York who would send me images of sarcophaguses that were up for auction, and they were always a little bit too colorful, and they always kind of looked a little fake to me. But anyway, finally this one came, and so it was so worth the wait. We call her Liza, after Liza Manelli.
I wouldn't be surprised if he opened up the sarcophagus and Michelle and me popped out.
And tonight, 7 News is getting a rare look inside a giant military facility tucked into a mountain. The top secret Cheyenne mountain complex in Colorado Springs can withstand a nuclear attack. It's like a mini underground city, an engineering marvel. And tonight, my co-anchor Eric Connor takes you on a tour of one of the safest spots in the world.
On the outside, it looks like your typical mountain, but inside is one of the most advanced military installations ever.
We were designed for a nuclear blast.
Stephen Rose is the deputy director for the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, which houses 13 Department of Defense agencies. He's bringing us inside the tunnels. These two doors, weighing 23 tons each, lead to 15 multi-story buildings.
They're made of Navy-grade steel. And but you wouldn't tell it, that we try to normalize the feel of the mountain as you work here.
At any given time, 150 to 300 people are working inside, tracking every threat to North America.
It's like a mini city underground.
The 5-acre site sits under a mile of granite and was built nearly 50 years ago.
The main tunnel was designed in Soviet time frame, when Cold War, at the height of the Cold War, to allow any blast attack, to allow the blast to pass straight on through the mountains. The buildings would ride on these springs and never touch the granite. They'd essentially bounce.
The buildings rest on 1,500 of those giant springs, so even if an earthquake happened, the building would make it. All of the pipes are also built to withstand a blast.
Water, sewage, anything going into these buildings actually has to flex with the bouncing as well. So that, because it doesn't do any good if the buildings survive, the people survive, but then you don't have the electricity or the communication lines to continue the missions.
And they take care of their neighbors. When the Waldo Canyon fire broke out, crews from the Cheyenne Mountain Complex were first on scene to fight it. Outside the complex sits a 9/11 memorial, a reminder of why what they do inside is so important for all of us.
It's like running a mini city underground, both in peacetime and in wartime.
Cool stuff, right? And since the complex is so tucked away, it offers employees everything from a chapel to shops, a dining facility, even a gym and a hospital are on site. Now, employees are not allowed to bring in cell phones. They probably wouldn't work underground anyway, but no recording devices are allowed because of classified work being done inside, which is why we weren't able to get a look at everything going on there. By the way, there are 5 lakes inside that Cheyenne Mountain facility.
If this is supposed to be a top secret military base and they're telling us all about it, then I wonder what other bases are out there that they'll never tell us about. Something about a raccoon catching a red eye to LAX tells me that this is most likely a spirit flight. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love y'all.